When you tell somebody they're not playing hard enough, they're not playing physical enough, or we played soft tonight, a lot of times they look at you like you're crazy. That's not the case at all. I'm just stating the facts. And when we watch the film, I think we'll jump off the screen when we show them that we weren't ready to play, when we show them that we weren't physical enough, when we show them that they outworked us. And I mean, so you hope after they see the film, they're embarrassed by the effort, and we come to Game 5 with the requisite effort that is needed to compete in a playoff game against a very good team.
They were definitely the aggressors. We didn't play with enough, urgency. As a whole team, we just played soft. Like, we let them get into us and take us out of our stuff. And then it just comes down to execution as well. We didn't execute.
We got to sustain that level of energy and that level of focus. Because when you win a game, it's easy to to talk about it. Like, all right, we got to do it again. And going out there and doing it is completely separate from talking about it, especially when the other team is coming off a loss and they trying to answer the call. With this being the biggest game of the series, the team that loses the next game is going to be facing elimination. We got to, go out there with that understanding and try to sustain what we built over the last, game and a half.
It is fascinating, Michael Malone's exasperation with his team. And we've seen this from him before with this Denver Nuggets group. What do you make of it when a coach publicly calls out his guys for not playing hard enough in a postseason series?
Just like a challenge, like he knows how good they can be. And I think, he's frustrated that they're having games like that. So it's just about, trying to get them to, just play better and just, try to go compete. That having been said, it's Game 5. Series is still tied. They still have home court advantage. Denver, at least on paper, right?
Yeah, I think so, Matt. I think, we've all been around the game a long time. I think when you get to the playoffs with an experienced team, I want to hear a coach say we didn't rebound. We didn't play the pick and roll. But when I start hearing a coach for a veteran team say we didn't play hard, we wasn't physical enough, I started to worry a little bit, man. There's some parts of the game you just don't execute. We did not get on our free throws. We fouled too much. But a veteran team that's been around, as a player, I don't want to hear we didn't play hard enough as a group. Now, and we weren't physical. They outworked us. Not in playoff games. That's the one thing you start to look at the leadership of the players and who is the leader as far as verbally, I would think, for that team. I know Jokic is the best player. Right. I think that's the question I'm looking at right now. Who's going to take this and send that message to the players for them? I don't know. We shall see tonight how they come out and play. A little worried about Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter. That last game, I think they combined for like 8 points, 11 points on 8 attempts. Those two have to get going. I'm not just talking about offensively. I think those two have to do a little bit of the dirty work. That's the one thing I'm looking for the Denver Nuggets. Who's the one guy who's going to get the loose balls, the 50-50 balls? Who's going to take the charges? Who's going to be just the guy doing things that won't show up in the box score?
Yeah. And some of that you would think would fall to Aaron Gordon because of the way he plays and what they ask him to do on this team. Michael Porter Jr., it may be a lot to ask, but he's got to be their second best scorer. And as you saw in the graphic, he's been less and less productive and effective as the series has gone on. If you're Michael Malone or another team leader, what are you saying to him ahead of Game 5 to get him going?
I'm looking at him as he's very talented, but when your jumper's not going, how else can you help this team offensively? And then, okay, forget offensively, how else can you impact winning? Another part of the game, and I think for him is, defensively he struggles. We all know that, but can you rebound? Can you block shots? And I think also for him is, can you be verbally and be engaged with your teammates? Because a lot of times, I know he's a quiet guy, but it looks like he's looking at Matt like I'm looking at you right now. I can't read his emotions, and I would love just to have him affect the game in a different way.
Yeah, stoic. We know he can shoot, but again, if that's not working,
but sometimes when you start rebounding and stuff, that gets you going. Like that gets your shot going. Like you think less and you just go play.
Yeah, and LaMarcus, I would ask, if you're, the Joker, because that was kind of your role, the guy with the ball down on the block, how much are you trying to talk to him when you're getting double? Where would you want him, at? What's the conversation with your 4 and 5, playing off of each other?
I'm trying to tell him to, keep shooting. I got to stay confident for one. And then I'm trying to tell him where I see them doubling me at and, what spot to go to. I want to try to put him in the best position where I can pass it to him and he can score. So I'm just trying to tell him, stay confident and then, just find your spots.
Now, you're a bit of a vet. Man, I want to ask him. So, I'm Michael Porter. I took 4 bad shots. Now, tell me where you're going now, LaMarcus, as a teammate, because that's when I think communication met during adverse times and heated times. That's when you know you're a good chemistry, good teammate where I can talk to you.
Exactly.
You know, and saying, hey, we don't need that shot right now.
And the NBA's changed because bad shots are considered good shots if you're, really good at it. Steph and, Dame. But
Wait, say that again? I gotta try. I've been going out of the game a long time now.
yeah.
Bad shots are considered good shots.
It's not really bad anymore because those guys are, they're so good at it. So, what was, thought of as a bad shot back in the day, it's not a bad shot now. So I put them to the side and I was like, hey, when they're making a run, let's get something good, go to the rim, get fouled, or come to me, but don't shoot that one.
Man, I think I could have played in this era.
Yeah.
Bad shot is a good shot.
For some people,
if you're good at it,
shot's
though,
a good
if
shot.
you're good at it.
It is tricky, too, because the good shots have changed. And for Michael Porter Jr. in the analytics age, they want him at 6'10", taking three-pointers because he's really good at it. But there are going to be nights when he's not, and then you've got to make some sort of adjustment. I want to get into the two big men, the former teammates. Yusuf Nurkic fouled out of the two losses, been hugely impactful in the two wins for for Portland, and basically played his old teammate Nikola Jokic to a draw in Game 4. What's the adjustment for Jokic tonight, specifically with regard to this matchup?
Keep doing what he, just play his game. He has a great coach that's going to get him plays. I guarded him, and he's going to get him plays and get him shots, and he just got to put pressure on him and make him guard him, and just make all of his shots tough. But it's nothing. I mean, he's going to come out and he's going to put pressure on him, and I think that's going to slow him down.
See if he can stay in the game tonight. By the way, I'm selling Nurkic short because statistically maybe played him to a draw. Do you see the plus minus?
I was like, say 32 minus.
Joker
32?
was minus 32. Nurkic was Game 6 win at home and a Game 7 victory back in Colorado to earn a spot in the conference finals. They're meeting a round sooner this time as they tip for Game 5 tonight in the Mile High, game you will see right here on NBA TV at 9 Eastern Time. It's a center court postseason situation. Time to hear from some of our virtual fans tonight. They have questions for Smitty and LA, and we're going to start with Tina, who is here representing the Brooklyn Nets. Hello, Tina. What you got for us?
Hi, how are you?
So far, so good. How about you?
Good. We're real good. So, for LaMarcus, glad to hear you're doing well. We're happy to have you. Glad that you're not with us. You'll always be part of the fam.
Thank you.
My son, Talon, he's got a question he wants to ask you.
Hi, Marcus.
How you doing?
My question is, how was your time in Brooklyn playing with the Big Three?
It was fun, man. Those guys are special. They work hard every day. They have fun. They're all so unselfish, and just, it was fun, man. I felt embraced, and, I feel like being with those guys made my job so easy, so I enjoyed it.
There you go, Tina. Are the Nets closing out tonight?
Oh, we're closing out. We're getting ready to pick up in 5, and then move on.
There you go.
Oh,
I figured I knew the answer from Tina, but why not? Do we have a Veronica and Kevin in the house?
It's actually Veronica and Paul right now.
Veronica and Paul, what happened to Kevin? What'd you do to Kevin, Veronica?
He's in the other room.
He's in the other room.
Sorry, Paul. I was told Kevin. You guys are Suns fans. What are your questions for us?
Hey, so I had a question. Steve and LA, you guys are both ex-professional basketball players. Have you ever had an injury like Chris Paul's injury? And given his performance in Game 4 of 18 points and 9 assists, do you see that as like a positive rehab thing that he's going to be okay going forward?
I think it's a great question. I've never had an injury of sort like Chris Paul. There are certain injuries you can play with, and obviously having his right arm, he's right-handed shooting. I thought it was tough, but to see him, and obviously after we got a chance to hear that Coach Williams was deciding not to play him, it was remarkable how he came out and played. It was just to watch him will his way and this team to a victory. I think it's definitely a positive. It gives you a chance to say it looks like he's getting healthier. Obviously won't be 100% throughout these playoffs, but just having Chris Paul on the floor and the way he played is definitely a positive.
I've had shoulder surgery, so I would say it's a very tough, especially when it's, your shooting arm. Your shot feels short, you don't feel confident. So I think, like you said, the fact that he played well last game, that is good. And then going back to the ex-player, I'm not ready to hear that yet, so let's just say I still play right now.
Okay, that's fair enough. Hey, Veronica, forget Paul for a second. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to Kevin, but for you, I need to know more about this eye makeup. Can you get closer to the camera? That looks like an elaborate design you've got going there.
I like
There's
that.
a lot. It says Phoenix Suns. I couldn't tell from that far back.
Oh, is that Kevin?
Is that Kevin?
It's Kevin.
Oh, Kevin's alive. Thank goodness.
They tried to hide me for a little while, but I came back.
For a second, I thought Paul had taken out Kevin. I'm glad to see you're all together and well. Good luck tonight against the Lakers in Game 5.
Yep.
Great questions.
All right, next up is Debbie, who's a fan of the Portland Trailblazers. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
I think we're well. How are you?
So good, so good. My question is for LaMarcus. Now that you can kind of look at your career in hindsight, what are you most proud of that you did during your time in the NBA?
That's tough. Like I said, I'm not ready to look back at it, but I have to now. I'm here. I don't know. I think I had, so many great memories, so many fun games. But when I look back at how we turned Portland from Jailblazers to, a Rip City, that was kind of special. And I don't want to look to my guy to my right, but I don't know.
He was on that team.
I don't know what side he was on to that, but I think being a part of that group to bring the fans back after a certain guys didn't bring them in the arena, but being on that team, I thought that was pretty special for me.
Hey, Debbie, who's your favorite Blazer, past or present?
Brandon
I
Roy.
mean, you have to go with Damian Lillard right now. Although we do love LaMarcus. Don't get me wrong.
So I'm like a little asterisk.
Know your audience. Know your audience, Debbie. That's a good lesson. I know LA doesn't want to look back, but we're already thinking of him as media. He's here, right? He's media.
I'll look back now. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it.
He's not there yet. I remember that. He's not there yet. It's going to take some time.
I get it. All right.
Take some time.
Thank you, Debbie.
Debbie, good question.
Next up, by process of elimination, I think I've identified Sam from the Denver Nuggets. Sam, how you doing tonight? What do you have for us?
I'm doing great. I will let you know Denver will be bouncing back tonight. As we know from last year, they like to be with their backs against the wall to start playing really good. But my question is, with all the injuries that the Denver Nuggets have had within the guard area, can you rate how the Denver Nuggets rookies guard with Campazzo, Harrison, and Howard have been playing?
I think they play well. The one thing I love about them is great questions. They've been asked to do a lot, as rookies in a situation right now in big-time playoff games. They bring energy. They play with passion. Campazzo seems like he's everywhere on the floor. I mean, he is one of those guys that something's going to happen, and he's making things happen. I love the way they're playing, and I think as rookies, obviously, getting a chance to play on this big stage, they don't look like they don't belong there. They don't look afraid. So great question, Sam. I think they've done a nice job for them, and I think I'm going to ask you a question. If you look at the Denver Nuggets, what's the key? Give me one key for them winning tonight, Sam.
I think the key for them tonight is Jokic naturally, and for MPJ just to get his shots. He needs to be a key part of the game for tonight.
All right, well done, Sam.
And Millsap. We need Millsap in there too.
Yeah.
Sam, I said one.
They named like 7 people.
Sam, honestly, you wouldn't be the first analyst who's done that. I do this for a living, and I often ask for one thing and get back 5.
Absolutely.
All right, appreciate it, Sam, Debbie, Veronica, Paul, Kevin.
Kevin got back in there.
And all our virtual fans.
There we
appreciate you being with us on a center court playoff night.
Let's go.
More
Aldridge for the win. Yeah! LaMarcus Aldridge, miracle man. Gets it inside. Beautiful beat. He's got 51. Welcome to the 50 Club, Mr. Aldridge.
Do you want star power on Playoff Central Live? We got your star power right here. Welcome in, everybody. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, special guest, 7-time NBA All-Star LaMarcus Aldridge, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Rook.
Thank you.
Seven-time All-Star and rookie at the same time.
Yeah, I'm learning
LaMarcus
as I
Aldridge.
go. Yeah.
First of all, how are you? How are you feeling? How are you adjusting to life post-NBA after what was an unfortunate and abrupt ending for you?
I'm still learning as I go. It's a process daily, trying to find what's next. My health is good, and I'm just trying to, just make sure everything's good to go.
That's the important part.
It is, but I want to ask the important question. You taking out the trash now?
I'm doing
Cutting
everything,
grass?
man. I'm taking trash out, putting up pictures, painting the walls, everything already.
You're painting the walls. So
Grocery
you're
shopping?
telling me you got
Grocery
a brush
shopping.
in hand or a roller? You're actually doing the.
There we go.
Man.
You can get up to the ceiling. That's one advantage you have. I need a ladder for that sort of thing. Well, it's great to have you with us.
Yes.
We've got LaMarcus with us all night long, and we got a lot to cover here as well. And of course, your experience will be invaluable. A veteran of 13 playoff series with the Blazers and Spurs. LA averaged nearly 21 per over a total of 72 games in all. With all that experience, what is the single most important thing you learned about the difference between the regular season and playoff games?
Intensity. Intensity goes up. Players play hard, harder, and it means more. If you lose, you go home. So everyone brings it every night, and every game counts.
For me, LaMarcus, the question, I came in the league when the post guy stayed on the block.
Yeah.
You were one of those guys. And then next thing you know, the evolution, the 7-footer shot, shooting threes.
Yeah.
So I saw you adjust. And tell me about that adjustment from dominating on the block, still dominating on the block, and then being able to take your game out past the three-point line.
It was something that I could do, but I never really wanted to do because I felt like if I was still getting doubled down low, I didn't need to do that. But I think as I saw the game changing more and more, I wanted to try to add that to my game. So I think over the last 2 or 3 years, I tried to, add that more, more often. And, it wasn't hard, but it was definitely different.
It's amazing how quickly that happened during your career.
During your career,
How quickly
it's like
the league changed, yeah.
I came in with Zebo and all those guys,
yeah.
and now it's totally different.
Yeah. Also, okay, you do this well. Okay, we need you to do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, adjust. All right, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Got a long night ahead and a lot to cover here. A trio of Game 5s tonight, including the intriguing 2-7 matchup in the West, where Chris Paul had to talk Monty Williams into even playing Game 4, which he then helped the Suns win in L.A. with an 18-point outing. The whole series took a turn, though, late in the second quarter when Anthony Davis went down with a groin injury and never returned. He is still listed as questionable tonight. LeBron James was the only Lakers starter with a positive plus-minus in that game, and the Lakers may need even more than his 25, 12, and 6 with AD's status still very much up in the air.
I think these guys, they're great competitors. They're always going to say, I'm ignoring this. I'm going to be in there. You know what I mean? So that's what his mindset is, like any competitor. But, we'll see what the groin feels like tomorrow, and we'll make a smart decision.
I played with a couple of, superstars, and he really wanted to be out there. He given everything he had, his last percent, and just tried to make it work.
We've seen all of their bigs, and so we feel like we can adjust accordingly, whether it be a small sample size or a large sample size. So we're planning for them to have all of their guys.
Certainly our identity shifts if Anthony's not in there, but it's not unprecedented for us. We played a large chunk of our season without him, and hopefully we can draw on some of those experiences.
Is there a sentiment that if AD can't go, LeBron might just have to play 40-plus minutes, and this is, you treat it like a Game 7?
In terms of the minutes, we're going to do whatever we need to do to win this game. That's the simplest way to put it. If he plays 48 minutes, he's not going to be fresh at crunch time. So, we'll manage it accordingly, and we'll do everything possible to win this game.
Unfortunately for the defending world champs, they have plenty of experience this season playing without AD, who missed half the season with a calf and Achilles strain. They were 19-7 in those 36 games, but what is really alarming if you're a Lakers fan is they went 3-14 against the teams that reached the playoffs, and Phoenix is obviously not only a playoff team, but the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Before we get to the LeBron element of the equation, in terms of the bigs, what makes most sense for Frank Vogel tonight in terms of a rotation? We've seen Gasol. We've only seen Montrezl Harrell in 2 of these games so far. How do you see him working his rotation of big guys and this playing out tonight?
I think you still go with Andre Drummond. I think you have to start him and go with him. And obviously, if he can set the tone, I've been watching them, and I'm asking the Lakers at times. I'm seeing Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder switched on to Andre Drummond, and they're not going to him. I think just to give him some confidence, especially in the beginning of the game, whether he scores or not, it's just keeping him involved. That's all I always feel about a big. But then I think after that, I think you go Marc Gasol. And then Montrezl Harrell obviously will be the third big for me in my rotation. He has to come in with energy, and energy, because looking up front, the Phoenix Suns are small.
Yeah.
And they're not taking advantage of that. And then obviously on the other end, as a big, now you're chasing guys off pick and roll. So I'm looking forward to them. But as far as just bigs, DeAndre Ayton is winning this series. You look at his numbers, Matt and Marcus Archer. I mean, the first 3 games, 20 and 10. And then the fourth game, 14 and 17. And I always thought when they started this series, if he got in foul trouble, it'd be a little tough for the Phoenix Suns. I like Frank Kaminsky. He's not really banging. But so far, he stayed out of foul trouble, Matt, and he is scoring, and his field goal percentage is just off the charts.
81%.
Say it again, 81%.
81% in this series, and he's number 1 in the playoffs in the restricted area so far with 35 made buckets on 39 attempts. That tells you what kind of shots he's getting. But, Smitty's point about Phoenix's front line is a good one because the Lakers have, again, talking about traditional basketball, what used to be seen as a huge advantage with big bodies. Yeah. Do they press that advantage tonight, or do they have to adapt to what the Suns do well?
You got to change a little bit. Like he said, I think you go with Drummond, and then I put Mark in there. I think he has the skill set to make those guys better. He can pass, he can shoot. I think he helps open up the floor a little bit. So I do the same thing that he said.
Ayton's become really adept at what I keep saying is staying in his lane, right?
Yes.
There's the pressure of being a number 1 overall pick, but he doesn't seem to do too much. I don't know if Chris Paul has something to do with that. Monty Williams has something to do with that, but he's become a really effective player, but not necessarily a guy you're going to run a bunch of plays through.
Matt, I'm fortunate I knew him when he was in 8th and 9th grade, where he went to high school. A friend of mine was the coach and started that academy. And he wanted to be a guard. And obviously, because of his size, he wasn't at 6'11", was he right now? He's 14. He was about 6'4", 6'5", and it was all guard. And then got a chance to watch him, which we all want the skill set. But looking at him right now, I think it's because of Coach Monty Williams. I think it's because of Chris Paul. They're making him star in his role. He rolls down the lane. He catches it. He dunks it. But the one good thing is he's catching lobs, not for dunks. He's got a lot of touch and he's putbacks. But I'm looking right now is, like you said, Matt, to go back to your question, if you do have a change, I know you don't want to panic because you're the Lakers. I might put LeBron at the 5. He's strong enough, big enough. If you want to go small ball, I don't know if LeBron wants to do that at his age, DeMarcus. Not at all, but I just think because if you're not getting it done, because right now I think young guys in this Phoenix Suns team, Matt and DeMarcus, they're gaining confidence. They're gaining confidence, and when you get Mikal Bridges, Cameron Payne, DeAndre Ayton to start to gain confidence as a young team, and they're coming back in Phoenix, the first 5 minutes is going to be very important for the Lakers.
Well, regarding LeBron, as you guys know, there's want and there's need. So the question is, what will the Lakers need from him tonight? They're winning
everything.
They're winning his minutes. His net rating per 100 possessions is plus 9.3. It's by far the best on the LA Lakers. So in terms of minutes and production from LeBron tonight to win, assuming AD is either unavailable or not completely well, what will they need from LeBron tonight?
Everything, like you said, score, pass, rebound, everything. I think they go as he go, and those guys, are going to get open shots off of him, and I think he has to go out and and have one of those big games for us.
Good news for the Lakers on the health front. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is expected back tonight for Game 5. You see the news from Dave McMenamin there. Expected to return after missing Game 4 with that sore left knee. Got a game on our air tonight, Game 5 for Portland and Denver. It's a center court night, which means